Welcome to Headphone News, Greater Vancouver edition for Tuesday, December 10, 2024.
Financial burden of cancer patients in Canada. A recent report shows that cancer patients in Canada face an average of 33,000 Canadian dollars, which is about $24,300 in personal expenses throughout their lives. This financial strain includes costs for medications, travel, and lost income during treatment. Natalie Lipschultz, a cancer survivor from Burnaby, British Columbia, shared her story of spending over 20,000 Canadian dollars, roughly $14,800 on her own care. The report, released by the Canadian Cancer Society in partnership with Statistics Canada and the Public Health Agency of Canada, predicts that cancer-related expenses will reach $37.7 billion Canadian dollars, around $27.9 billion by 2024. While the Canadian healthcare system covers 80% of these costs, patients still face significant out-of-pocket expenses. Those with lower incomes are especially affected, spending about 34% of their monthly earnings on cancer-related costs. Advocates are urging for better government support, including national drug coverage and financial help for travel and accommodation. Tackling these financial challenges is vital for ensuring fair access to cancer care across Canada.
Syrian community celebrates change in Vancouver. Members of the Syrian community gathered outside the Vancouver Art Gallery in British Columbia to celebrate the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria. The event was lively, featuring music, chants of unity, and traditional dances, with about 200 people expressing their happiness over this political change. This celebration comes after important events in Syria, where rebel forces took control of the capital, Damascus, leading Assad to flee to Moscow. The ongoing Syrian civil war, which began in 2011, has caused a severe humanitarian crisis and widespread displacement. The Syrian community in Canada remains closely connected to these events, supporting freedom and democracy in their homeland. This political shift could impact international relations and humanitarian efforts in the region. Understanding these interactions is key to grasping the significance of the celebration and the ongoing struggles faced by the Syrian people.
Charges in Burnaby homicide case. 2 men have been charged in the murder of Kenneth Thomas Howe, whose body was discovered in August 2021 near Burnaby Lake in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada. John Perry Harrison faces a less serious murder charge, while Jesse River Miller is charged with disrespecting a body. Howe was 38 years old at the time of his death. The suspects are in detention and will appear in court on December 20, 2024. This case has raised concerns about safety in the community, especially given Harrison's history of violent crimes. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police are investigating and report that this incident does not appear to be linked to gang activity. Cases like this can significantly impact public confidence in law enforcement and increase awareness about crime in urban areas.
Memorial service for John Horgan. A memorial service for former British Columbia Premier John Horgan will be held on December 15, 2024, at the Q Centre in Colwood, British Columbia, Canada. Horgan, who passed away at 65 after a courageous battle with cancer, is remembered for his important contributions to the province. Guests are required to reserve tickets, with each person allowed up to 2. Please plan to arrive by 11:30 a.m. local time, as doors will open at 11:45 a.m., and the service will begin at 1 p.m. Horgan served as Premier from 2017 to 2022 and focused on healthcare and environmental policies. This memorial service is a chance for the community to celebrate his life and reflect on the impact he made during his time in office. Many people, including political figures and community members, are expected to attend.
BC Hydro's new wind power contracts. BC Hydro, the electricity supplier in British Columbia, Canada, has announced new contracts for wind power projects in partnership with First Nations. This initiative will provide 3,000 gigawatt-hours of electricity each year, increasing BC Hydro's supply by 5%. It's the first competitive call for power in 15 years. 9 contracts have been awarded, expected to generate nearly 5,000 gigawatt-hours annually, enough to power 500,000 new homes. Electricity demand in British Columbia is projected to rise by 15% or more by 2030. The projects represent an investment of between $5 billion and $6 billion Canadian dollars, which is about 3.68 to 4.41 billion US dollars, and will create around 2,000 jobs each year during construction. 8 of the 9 projects will have majority ownership held by First Nations, ensuring their involvement in economic development. This initiative supports renewable energy goals and addresses climate change, highlighting the importance of working together with Indigenous communities.
Missing child in Surrey found safe. A 9-year-old child who went missing in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, has been found safe. The Surrey Police Service expressed their gratitude to the community for their support in locating the child. This situation highlights the importance of community involvement in keeping children safe. Surrey has several programs aimed at protecting kids and encourages residents to stay alert. When a child is missing, quick action and teamwork with local officials are crucial. This event serves as a reminder for all of us to be aware and prepared to ensure the safety of our children.
Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in Vancouver. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour concert in Vancouver, British Columbia, on December 8, 2024, created a lot of excitement and had a big economic impact. The event attracted 60,000 fans and set a Canadian record for data usage, consuming over 11 terabytes, enough to stream Swift's entire music collection nearly 9,500 times. This concert is estimated to have boosted local businesses by 25 million Canadian dollars, which is about 18.5 million US dollars, over 3 days. This impact is similar to what major events like the 2010 Winter Olympics bring. For comparison, a sold-out Vancouver Canucks playoff game usually generates around 3 million Canadian dollars in economic activity. Swift's worldwide tour, featuring 149 shows, has already brought in 2.2 billion US dollars, highlighting her strong influence in the music industry. The concert not only showcased Swift's talent but also emphasized how large events can drive local economies and enhance tourism in urban areas.
BC Human Rights Tribunal decision on Indigenous health case. The British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal has ruled against the Union of British Columbia Indian Chiefs, or UBCIC, in a complaint about liver transplant policies. The tribunal decided that protecting patient privacy is more important than granting UBCIC access to medical records. UBCIC claims that the liver transplant process unfairly discriminates against Indigenous patients based on their race and ancestry. In British Columbia, Canada, patients must stop drinking alcohol for 6 months before they can receive a liver transplant, and their eligibility is determined by a scoring system called MELD. This ruling highlights the importance of patient privacy, which may make it more difficult for UBCIC to support their claims of discrimination. About 30 people are reported to be affected by these policies. This decision brings attention to the ongoing challenges Indigenous communities face in accessing fair healthcare and may influence future cases related to health rights and discrimination.
Decline in drug overdose deaths in British Columbia. British Columbia, a province in Canada, has seen a significant drop in drug overdose deaths. In 2023, there were 1,925 overdose deaths, which is a 9% decrease from the previous year. In October, 155 fatalities were reported, down from 183 in September. However, unregulated toxic drugs remain the leading cause of unnatural deaths for individuals aged 10 to 59. Health Minister Josie Osborne pointed out the ongoing danger of the toxic drug supply. Alarmingly, the number of deaths among women and girls has more than doubled over the past 5 years, highlighting a serious public health crisis. The reduction in overdose deaths suggests that government actions, like harm reduction strategies and increased funding for addiction services, may be making a positive difference. Continued support and resources are crucial to maintain this progress and address the ongoing challenges of the drug crisis.
British Columbia's new wind energy projects. British Columbia, Canada, has given the green light to 9 new wind energy projects aimed at boosting the province's hydroelectric grid capacity by 8% each year. These initiatives are set to produce nearly 5,000 gigawatts of energy annually, enough to power 500,000 homes. The construction of the Site C Dam, which these projects will support, will cost around $16 billion. The new wind projects are expected to attract private investment between $5 billion and $6 billion, which is about $1.34 billion to $1.61 billion United States dollars. Completion is anticipated by 2031, with 8 of the projects featuring 51% Indigenous ownership. This effort highlights a growing commitment to renewable energy and aims to reduce our dependence on polluting fuels, addressing energy needs and climate change concerns. The involvement of Indigenous communities in these projects underscores the importance of equity and local engagement in energy development.
Sentencing of nurse impersonator Brigitte Cleroux. Brigitte Cleroux, a nurse fraudster, has been sentenced in Vancouver, British Columbia, after being found guilty of multiple charges, including fraud and assault. She pretended to be a nurse across 4 provinces in Canada, treating nearly 1,000 patients without any medical qualifications. Currently, she is serving a 7-year prison sentence in Ontario, but the government is seeking to add another 8 years for her crimes in British Columbia. These incidents occurred between 2019 and 2021, raising serious concerns about patient safety and trust in healthcare. 25 victims shared their experiences, detailing the trauma they faced due to Cleroux's actions. This case highlights important questions about how we verify healthcare professionals' qualifications and underscores the urgent need for stricter rules to protect patients. Such incidents can significantly undermine public confidence in medical institutions, emphasizing the importance of vigilance in healthcare.
Visa manipulation allegations in Canada. An investigation has uncovered that Indian officials in Canada are allegedly manipulating visa applications to pressure members of the Sikh community. In 2016, Vikramjit Singh Sandhar, a Canadian citizen, applied for a visa to visit India and see his ailing grandfather. However, his application was denied due to statements he made while serving as president of the Guru Nanak Sikh Temple in Surrey, British Columbia. He received a letter demanding that he denounce the Khalistan movement, which seeks an independent Sikh state in Punjab, India, in order to obtain his visa. This manipulation of visas appears to be a common practice among Indian officials, raising serious concerns about foreign interference in Canada. The Indian government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, defends these actions as necessary for maintaining national integrity. Such interference could strain diplomatic relations between Canada and India, affecting the rights of individuals in the Sikh community. The Khalistan movement has deep historical roots in the grievances of the Sikh population, and ongoing tensions may further complicate the Canadian-Indian relationship. That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI.